Good evening, everyone. So let us start our unknown class straight away. So from last three classes, I was talking to you regarding the concept of vital force. So many of doctors, students in homeopathy, I must say that in my initial courses of homeopathy, when first time came across about the concept of vital force, I was also very skeptical. What is this? But then slowly and slowly, by and by, after going through so much of the knowledge and all, I realized that what we are missing. And some of the very important basics, what I learned about the concept of vital force, I shared you in the last three classes. And I'm sure with those three classes, that now regarding the concept of vital force, there should not be any such question to be skeptical, to still question mark the concept of vital force. I told you about how to understand this concept with the very basics what we studied in the school. Why I started with the school? Because that is what our known knowledge. The best way of learning new things, there is one very simple rule. Go from known to unknown. So the known knowledge, maybe we may forget, we may not recall very soon, but then we can always refer what we have studied so far. So in the first class, I told regarding the vital force that you should understand the difference between the living and non-living, which I told you in the yesterday's class that there are 7 characteristics of it. And in physiology, what we study, human physiology, we study nothing else but then regarding those characteristics, but system wise. Then I told you that go through the difference between the alive and dead. Then I also discussed with you about the complete evolution of the concept of vital force. The concept of the vital force, I told you right from the ancient till the latest. It is only some time of 19th century, 17th and 19th, 18th and 19th century, when due to the mechanical influence, this concept was set aside. But then Hahnemann revived it back in the art of medicine, and thereafter I told you that some of the groups came, those now who are working for systems theory. It is called systems theory. The holistic concept in biology is called systems theory, which you will read in Turning Point by Fridge of Capra and so many books of Fridge of Capra. I told you the other day reference of Capra. So everyone should go through the Capra's book to get more enlightened about the concept of vital force. Then yesterday only I told that whatever all the different names like Atma, Ruhu, and all such, they meant breath. And those days, breath means the vital power, not that oxygen. And I tell you one very important thing. So far, I came to know that whenever we are in nature, when I say nature, that means you are somewhere in some kind of even garden or some jungle near the river and some natural places in the hills near the sea. All these places they have all around that breath means that life energy. We go out, we actually inhale, we actually take that life energy within us. How and what is mechanism, I don't know. But then it is there like this. And one thing also I came to know that the metal gold, earlier it has been seen, I used to think why that so many of kings and all were in the habit of wearing so much of gold. That tradition still remains, but then we don't know why. Gold has a power to attract such kind of living energy, such breath, to imbibe in you, imbibe in the one who is wearing the gold. So all these activities and all these concepts, they were there, prevalent in the earlier time. Now situations are different, so many things cannot be done, so many things are still not known, and so on. This is one such topic on which you can keep on talking with examples and elaborations and also. But then it will definitely drift us from our that very voyage we started on 10th April. And in this voyage, we are at a very important juncture to know one such very important concept, that is vital force. And in the last 2 3 classes, we were able to really understand that what is this concept. And there should not be any such confusion now. And Hahnemann did not really told all these things. Reason that it is not necessary to tell to an intelligent physician. Hence, he started simply talking about the vital force in the health, in death, in disease, in cure. So, after really devoting some good 2 3 hours on the concept with so many of references, let us start with the aphorism 9. Now, it is very important to go through the appendix here. See, to aphorism 9 in the appendix. Though here maybe some mistake that on aphorism 9, no such sign of appendix given. But then it's not like this. It is there in the appendix because we should really know when this concept actually came, the concept of vital force. So just go to the appendix, see to aphorism 9. Here he says, Richard Hughes tells us that aphorism 9 to 16 expound the doctrine of the vital force, which appears in the fifth edition. So this is very clear that now what we are going to read 9 to 16, all these aphorisms are nothing but added by author Samuel Hahnemann in the fifth edition. So let's what was there in place of these aphorisms and all. That is what all the details that you can always see. So let us just go back to the aphorism and start understanding the concept of health. In my previous classes, I discussed you about the concept of health. Please remind those understanding of the health. And now let us know in detail what is the view of Dr. Henman regarding the health. In the healthy condition of the man, the spiritual vital force, that is autocracy, the dynamics that animates the material body, organism, rules with unbounded sway and retains all the parts of the organism in admirable, harmonious, vital operation as regards both sensations and functions, so that our indwelling reason gifted mind can freely employ this living healthy instrument for the higher purposes of our existence. So here first, let us know what are the characteristics of the vital force. First of all, he says the vital force is spiritual. We all read this, we know this, that vital force is spiritual, that vital force is autocratic, that it is dynamic, and it is responsible for animating, giving the characteristics of life, all those seven characteristics of the life, animating the material body, that is organism. So if we simply go into the understanding of this characteristics of the vital force, if we see, when we say autocratic, auto is by itself, self. Cratic means the power. It is a self-generated power. Automatic means self-powered. It is not that some particular part somewhere which is responsible for this power in the organism. It is it is a it is a it's an energy which has all energy has got their own powers. And vital force has its own law or power of functioning. If something is powerful, somebody is powerful, then he is having his own laws of doing things. Similarly, this is autocratic means self-powered means it itself is a source of the energy, and since it is an energy, it has its own way of working, it has its own principles to work. Then another thing we can say automatic. Automatic is like something autonomic. You understand autonomic nervous system? It is an involuntary nervous system. It is not following our command. I am talking My heart is beating. I cannot control it. My breathing is going on. It is involuntary. I cannot. I can vary the variations in the depth and the taking and exhaling the breath, but then it is involuntary. Even the digestion, it is involuntary. Even the excretion process, it is the process is involuntary. Only thing is, to some extent, you can hold the excretion. Then this is what is self-acting force, self-generated, self-acted force having its own principles. Then it is spiritual, spirit-like. When you say spirit-like, we discussed that in the Christianity, they named this power, this life power, this vital energy as soul, or another word use spirit. So here the spiritual means something which is not really the it is not really the concept which we will be just saying that it is some kind of a ghost. No. Sometimes it is considered like that. It's not like this. Here, let us be very simple and in the realm of the science. And in the realm of the science, only word meaning you see, the original word meaning that spiritual means something which has got no materialistic substance. It is non-materialistic. Spiritual means non-materialistic. Autocratic means self-generated, self-powered. Like this, what are the other words? There are many other words given in the different aphorisms. I'm just covering those characteristics. They are like 7 characteristics of the vital force. It is another word used, unintelligent. If not in this aphorism, maybe the other aphorism. When you say unintelligent, simple meaning that any energy which works is always unintelligent. Intelligence means that when you can really differentiate between the two things, any energy, whatever may be the energy, is even the accelerator or the brake of your car is also working with the concept of the energy, but then it is also unintelligent. It is only your intelligence you can use it. So this very power, though it is self-power, though it is self-generated, though it is non-materialistic, but then it does not have that differentiating quality. It is unintelligent. Then what is the next characteristic? It is dynamic. Here it is written dynamis. What is dynamic? When you say dynamic, it is dynamic means something which is in constant movement, constantly moving, constant flux. So all the time, this spiritual self-generated power is there in all and every cell of the body, and it is constantly flowing through each cell. Hardly any time that it is not flowing through each cell. This is what its dynamicity. Hence, it is called dynamis, dynamic. Then a word is used, instinctive. Instinctive means which is a kind of natural impulse. So again, it shows its natural quality of this power, that it has got that impulse to constantly flowing through all the cells and keep this materialistic body animated. Means constantly to maintain the characteristics of the life, all the seven characteristics of the life. Then there is a word used, life preserving power. Now, almost all the things are nearby when we say life preserving power, means all the time, as we talked about the cell, how this potassium sodium pump continues. Who maintains this sodium potassium pump in the cell? How things go out from the cell membrane and from the surrounding, how certain things goes to the inside the cell cytoplasm. It is not by chance. If you have gone through the understanding of the cell, you will come to know that there is a complete process, that what are the ions going out in the surrounding and what are the ions going in the cytoplasm, and how much. Everything is very well known, everything is very well organized. And who is organizing this? It is this life preserving power. The purpose is to keep the cell alive. The purpose is, when we say to keep the cell alive, means to maintain all those seven characteristics what we studied yesterday. Let me just remind you all those seven characteristics. All those seven characteristics are, sorry, my paper, my notes moved around. So, seven characteristics are movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, nutrition, excretion. So, all the time, this power is responsible for maintaining these seven characteristics. When we say it is maintaining life, means it is maintaining these seven characteristics. Now, if you see, if you read Capra, Capra is giving some very good understanding about the characteristics of the life. You can very simply say they are two, according to the pitch of Capra. One, creating the organism, and the second is maintaining the organism. Right from the formation of the zygote till the death. This is the two polarities. Between these two polarities, this life preserving power has got continuously creating all the organism throughout, right from the zygote, even including zygote, till the organism, post delivery maintenance, and then dissolution of the whole unit to the death. So these are the two very important functions as told by Fritz of Capra: creation of the organism and the maintenance of the organism. It continues. And this vital force functioning is quite an open functioning, because it always maintains a relationship with the surroundings. It is not a this closed functioning. That means that nothing is required from the surrounding. It's not that. It takes from the surrounding, It excretes into the surrounding and keeps on maintaining the life. Then all the cells and the tissues and the systems of the body, you can just understand like this, that post zygote formation, when morula is formed and like this notochord is formed, and then the nervous system, skin, and rest of the organs are formed. What is that meaning? It is half cell of the mother and half cell of the father join together and make a zygote, and then it continues to make further systems in the organs. It is just like an example that some children, out of them one is like a leader, whenever he's going out in the park, society park, and calling friends, come, let's play. So what happens? All those friends, those kids of the society come together. Now, some become police, some become thief, some become judge, some become advocate, and they are playing. All are one, but then they just divide their duties. Similarly, it is one cell, and at one stage of time, a group of cell becomes nervous tissue, a group of cell becomes liver, GIT system, one group of tissue becomes nervous respiratory system, kidney and all, one becomes the digestive system, and so on. So they all are one. They all are arriving, creating from the one cell, that is the zygote, but then they divide their duties. Some cells together join and become the senses. Out of that, one group of cell becomes eyes, one group of cell becomes ears, like this. So when such is the situation, in that you will just find out that all are, though doing different functions, but all they are one. And they all are one, they all are one and under the very much control of this life energy. When I say control, means it is really in control. It does not go away any other way. And no doubt that the little bit, I told you yesterday also, a little bit concept of biophysics and biochemistry is shown, but still the concept of vitality is ruling. It is ruling like a monarch, it is ruling like a king. So this very power, this very autocratic power, this very uh, energy of the life, which is able to control each and every cell, that means each and every function, each and every system, and it has got one very important responsibility, that is preservation, that is maintenance. How? That it is keeping all these cells in such a togetherness that they all in relationship, they all in loving relationship with each other. And because they have such a loving relationship, each cells of the body, they are in quite a loving relationship with each other. And when they are into the relationship and in a very, very harmonious, loving relationship, then what happens? You are not aware about the any system, any function of the body. I told you the concept of, in Sanskrit, the concept of Vedana. You are not conscious of any system of the body. Like presently, I am talking to you. I am not conscious about any of the parts of my body. Then only I am able to talk to you. If suppose if I am having some kind of pain in my abdomen, could I talk to you? Not possible. Even those who are listening me, just think, if anywhere any consciousness of any system, any part of the body Can you so attentively listen me? Not possible. So the whole idea is this: the this autocratic power. It is putting all the each and every cell of the body in such a harmony that you are not conscious of any cell of the body, and because you are not really conscious of any system or the part of the body, then one very important component of the body, if I talk in the mechanical language, that is your reason gifted mind. That is your mind, your intellect, your emotions. They together work for some higher purposes, achievement of higher purposes. Here, what I am doing and what you are doing, we together are trying to achieve some higher purpose. So now you that when Hahnemann defines health, he meant when your whole of the body and the mind together, they are in such a harmony that you are not conscious of anything in the body except that your reason gifted mind is functioning towards the achievement of higher purposes of life. Now you think how dynamic the health is. You compare this definition with the definition of the WHO. They say health is a state. You read the whole definition of WHO. They use a word state. State is something static. And in life, it is always dynamic. Now, if you go into the basic literature of the Ayurveda and the Indian philosophy, which a bit of we talked yesterday, they have levels of the health. And the highest level of the health is such when you merge with the super consciousness, when you merge with the God, that is the highest level of the health. You see, Hahnemann has written in such a way that working towards the higher purposes of the life. He has not used the word purpose. See the aphorism again. He used the word purposes. And purposes is right from achieving the shelter, the food, the security, all kind of gratifications, biological gratifications, to the level of self-actualization. It is very good concept given in the psychology. So the whole idea is this, that if we want to define health in homeopathy, how Hahnemann has defined health is something very important to learn for all of us. First, that your body should be in a harmony. That means the whole systems and the cells, they are in harmony. That means what? Harmony means when all are together, they are in such a togetherness that you are not aware where is the heart and where is the liver. One very average, intelligent human being, innocent human being, if you simply ask him, where is heart? He doesn't know where is heart. He may say on the right side because he could never get aware about the heart. So having that harmony is the very, very preservating, maintaining function of this life energy. I hope you're able to understand what I am saying to you. Let us read the aphorism again. In healthy conditions of the mind, spiritual autocracy, the spiritual vital vital force which is spiritual, vital force which is autocratic, the dynamics that animates the material body. Simply read it like this: in healthy condition of mind, the spiritual vital force rules with unbounded sway. Means it is ruling the whole organism in such a way that nobody can stop. It is flowing. This rule is flowing throughout the. When he says unbounded sway, means that it is flowing all the time through the organism. Unbounded means which cannot be bounded. Sway means a flow. It is all the time flowing in the each cell. Why? Because I told you how. Zygote to further. They all are one. And retains all the parts of the organism in admirable, harmonious vital operations. I explained you the concept, this, and why it is admirable, because you're not even aware where is which organ. It is such an admirable harmony. What you can admire when something is in a very perfect state. Here you see a very perfect togetherness of all the cells of the body. That is why it is called admirable harmony. Admirable, harmonious, vital operations as regards both sensations and functions. How do you know this admirable harmony? By the sensations and the functions of the body. As I told you, you don't get any sensation and any information about the functions going on inside. Are you? No one of us. No such kind of untoward sensation or any awareness of the functions. We are not aware regarding that heart is constantly pumping the blood. We are not aware. Suppose if we get aware, we call it in practice of medicine palpitation. We are not aware that breathing is on. I'm talking to you for last half an hour or 40 minutes. But then I'm not aware about my breath. If suppose I am aware, you all are doctors, you will make out I'm breathless, something wrong with me. You will write me, stop sir, take some medicine. So like this, when you look at the sensations, the functions, they are in a harmonious, admirable, harmonious operation. Vital operation means the constant working of the life. So that, when you say so that, its meaning is that means, consequently, hence. When such a harmony is in, then what happens? Hence, then what? Our indwelling, reason gifted mind. Indwelling means which is there in the organism, which resides in the organism. It is not saying resides in the brain. Each cell has a mind. Indwelling, reason gifted mind can freely employ this living, healthy instrument. When you say living and healthy instrument, living means that there is all those 7 characteristics we talked about. And healthy means all these functions are in admirable harmony. Of what instrument? Instrument means your body. Instrument is a body. Organ means instrument. All together we call it body, and here this instrument means body. For the higher purposes of our existence. So the health is when you are actually exhibiting out of you the achievement of higher purposes of the existence. Now, the point to understand here is what is this higher purposes of existence? Here question comes that why do we live? Why we live? And each age circumstance has got its own higher purpose. A newborn child, what is his higher purpose? His higher purpose will be to exist. So he has to achieve the desired, the maintaining food, that is milk. We say it is the best thing is for that child is mother's milk. If a child is healthy, he will achieve that by crying. That is why the very cry of the newborn child, the infant, indicates that this cry, those who are very caring mothers, they know that when this child is crying, actually he is hungry or is wet or he's having any kind of trouble, maybe pain abdomen, maybe pain in ear or something. Whether he is sick or hungry or wet, very caring mothers know it very well. Even very intelligent and experienced pediatricians, they are also knowing it very well, just by the cry only. So it is that cry of the child, actually the higher purpose. A child who is unable to cry, who is unable to throw him around, is not healthy. The inactive child is a sick child. The active child is towards the health. And by just moving around his limbs and moving neck here and there and eyes here and there and crying and showing the expressions from the face from that child is something that he is trying to achieve his higher purpose, that is to exist. And it just keep on changing up and up after being completely developed. And you go under the training and all, you go rather much more higher purpose. That is, I told you that pyramid of one psychologist, I'm just immediately not recollecting the name, where he told that how to achieve food, shelter, security, all biological gratifications, and up to the self actualization. So there are some 7, 8, and that is why he is mentioned here and in higher purposes of the existence. Such kind of higher purpose of existence is applicable amongst the animals to the Homo sapiens only. So, this is what is the understanding regarding the health and how this vital force is solely responsible for the health. This is something is very, very appreciating to learn all of this. If you are really very much interested, you can just Google regarding the higher purposes of the existence. You will get so much of material. I gave you one idea. There are so many. Even we can check it right now. We get so much. Our higher purpose is how we find deep meaning and fulfillment in our lives by contributing to someone or something is bigger than ourselves. Having purpose and meaning in your life has been connected to the happiness, life satisfaction, physical health, and self-esteem. And lot many detail you will find out. I gave you the basic gist regarding the understanding of higher purposes of existence. If you want to say in one word, you can very well use a word that is creation, that is creativity. If you are creative, you're healthy. If you see your patient creative, very healthy. If somebody is not really creative, there is something wrong with his health. This is what the very dynamic definition of the health given by Hahnemann to understand homeopathy and to understand that until and otherwise we learn the life as something dynamic, the living organism as something dynamic, the health is something dynamic. We cannot understand in any way that disease is dynamic. That is something very, very important to know. So, the whole scenario is such. The whole scenario is such that if you really try to carve out, you will just get our exact higher purpose in every stage of us. As I told you, the different stages in the uh, preservation of the health by the physician, that is in the aphorism 4 I discussed with you, different milestones of the life, that is zygote, intrauterine life, then newborn, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, neonate, then infant, that is up to 1 year, then school going, then dentition period in between, then puberty, then the stage of marriage, and like this, it continues up to the old age. Every stage has got a exactly defined higher purposes. Every stage has got its own moralities. So we are to understand all those. And it's not that something I know, also come to know reading so many books. Like if you read in the developmental psychology, if you read developmental psychology, you will come to know all these different milestones and the characteristics of the development of the psychology. When you read uh, this developmental psychology, will come to know that how our body grows, but then you are also growing in your psychology also. When you talk psychology, developmental psychology, it means how you start experiencing emotions, and after the experience, how you really express your feelings out, experiencing it and then expressing it. Then how's your cognition, how's your intelligence and sensing the surroundings, how you sense, how you ultimately exhibit the reaction to that. And that very much depends on the development of the body and the different parts of the body. So going into the developmental psychology of the human being, you will get these all details as I am just discussing with you in the shell. So understanding the organon is not like this that there is some 2 3 books I am referring and that will do everything. It's not that. Whatever I can remember that these are the references, I immediately tell every one of you. But then there are so many references like this development psychology. Just now I reminded. Earlier I did not talk to you about it. So I am telling you that what book I am reading. One book we commonly reading, that is, we are reading the Ognon of Medicine by Henman, 5th and 6th edition. This is the common book, open on my table and on your table also. Rest of the books, so many books around, and but it's not that I'm just reading and telling you all that. There are certain notes with me, even my PhD thesis with me lying, so many references given in that, so many references already there. When we start talking, it immediately comes to the memory. I am able to tell you all. So when I tell you some reference, I wish that you will try to find out those and go through and try to find out these facts. But one thing, whatever I am talking to you, they are definitely from some of the references. It's not that I know all those things before and no. After reading so many references I received from my teacher, so many references I came to know by my search on the Google and around. And like this, we come to know so many things about it. And Organon is one such subject that after some reading some 10 more books related to it, when next time, say after 1 year, if I talk on the subject of vital force or on the Organon, any aphorism, it may be more enriched. I hope so. So the whole idea is reading. I am telling you the references of the books. Those who are, I am saying that read these books, they are must books. Like I told you, Fridge of Capra books. I just do not know how's your situation in the life. If suppose very simple, if you are studying, you have to appear in the exam. Exam strategies are entirely different than attaining the knowledge. If you are in a state, in a position, in a situation where you don't have any burden of examinations and all, then you are in a good state of attaining knowledge. Read Fridge of Capra. He has got some 7, 8 books, but then they are worth reading. And in that, you will get so many of the references. Then find out some good developmental psychology book. Read that. It is going to help you a lot. And thereafter, you have all so many books in relation with the Ognon. Like one is the very standard treatise on Ognon by Dr. What's his name? Dr. Ashok Das. Then here I am having a book, Nagendra Babu, Dr. G. Nagendra Babu. Then Dr. S.K. Dr. Bhatnagar's book. Then there are so many such Ognon books which we are constantly reading in our regular classes. They are there. I'm not naming them, understanding that you know those. I'm just talking to those books which are generally not really known, not generally referred, not generally talked about. And sometime I found that some of the people used to talk all this Capra and all to be read in PhD and in the MD classes. I don't think so, such kind of behavior. I believe that earlier the better. Read these books now, because all those books, Capra books, he's not talking something beyond. Rather, I tell you, he talks more to the basics as I talk to you about the cell and what is the most important component of the cell. It is from the book Capra book. It is a very school class question. So they talk very basic, core. They talk to the core. Why not read them now? Don't keep such taboos. This book is for MD, this book is for PhD, nothing like this. Good enough. You all are doctors or going to be doctors or already past, capable enough reading, capable of understanding things. When you all are able to understand pathophysiology of the diseases, the physiology of the formation of urine, all these complex processes you have gone through. But then Fridge of Capra is talking something very light and very easy and very basics. So I believe the very book we are reading is fifth and sixth edition comparison of the organon of medicine, that is R.E. Dajan. Only sixth edition is not enough. You need this organon of medicine by R.E. Dajan, fifth and sixth combined edition. This is a standard book which we are working on as per our syllabus of BHS. But then to understand this book, we have so many references around. I told you all those which we know, which every one of you are reading. Apart from those, we are to read Fridge of Capra, some developmental psychology book, some anthropology book, find out those. I cannot immediately name something. So like this, we will be getting so many things. But even if you Google something, you will get so many references. Just as I told you, higher purposes of life. You Google it, you will get so many references. And Google has got many engines. If you really want to read the actual research papers, you go to Google Scholar, and then in the Google Scholar you find the research paper on higher purposes of life. You will come to know so many things researched regarding this topic. So like this, we talked about today the some of the characteristics of the vital force, what it does in the health. Vital force is doing what when you are healthy, and how you come to know. That is why, are you really creative means, are you really in the higher purpose of life means, are you able to exhibit it by showing some creativity, by showing some good gestures of doing something higher than what you are. And we discussed about what is the harmony, how it remains, how it maintains the harmony, and some of the characteristics of vital force. I hope it is now quite clear to everyone that what is the importance of the vital force, and especially in the health. What should be the definition of the health, how Hahnemann defined health, and how it is different from the definition of the health as per WHO. And the definition of the health given by Master Hahnemann is very, very near, very, very near to the very highest level of knowledge given in the Indian philosophy, Indian medicine, Ayurveda, which has levels of the health. And Hahnemann's, when says the achievement of higher purposes of life, he actually pointing it towards all those levels of the health. So this is it for today. I hope that everyone is able to understand. There are certain comments I am seeing here. That is just in a minute. Just go around those comments. Dr. Mahesh Jadhav, sir, which is this book you are referring? I told you all by references. Pramod Upriti, when we say higher purpose for every stage of life, there must also be higher purpose of our existence. The purpose of existence we are talking. In every stage, this purpose of existence only we were talking. Dr. Mahesh Jadhav, sir, please tell which books we must read for the understanding of the organ. I told you it is very simple. I am just giving you all those details. I hope. Uh, I think Dr. Mahesh Jadhav recently joined us. You're welcome to the this live sessions. I wish that we have some already uploaded videos, some 30 or more videos uploaded here on my YouTube channel. And if you really get some time, every day 1 hour, and you just go through the previous videos also, you will come to know so many things very, very clear. It will be going to be a pleasure journey for you, Dr. Mahesh Jadavji. I hope you will get time to go through those. And so many things were discussed regarding books and all in almost every of the videos. And I hope things are going quite good. We will be continuing it further. For now, thank you very much, everyone, and we will catch up tomorrow again. If you have any question, you can write me here. You can write me in the comment section of each video. Uh, I'll definitely try to meet your expectations in the answers. Thank you very much, everyone. Sign off.